Are you listening?
We kind of sum up Crayta as a collaborative and accessible game creation platform, basically a tool to allow anyone to create their own games. And the idea is we want to allow anyone of any experience level to create their own games or modify their friends' games and so on. So it's essentially a playground of creation tools and thousands of different games that you can just go and try out of all different genres, all different kinds.
Crayta originally launched on Google Stadia in July of 2020. However, today, the team behind this fantastic game is ready to announce the next steps for the future of Crayta. On today's show, we are joined by Crayta's Adam Oliver, who will break down Crayta going free to play, new crowd play features arriving on Google Stadia, Crayta coming to the Epic Games Store, and a brand new battle pass. So, sit back, relax, and join us for a conversation with Crayta. Welcome, Adam. Welcome back to the Nerf Report. You are officially the first two-time developer coming back on the show, so thank you for joining us today.
No problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and it's a big day for Crayta, and I didn't want to get this incorrect, so I made a list. Free-to-play Crayta is dropping on Stadia. The Stadia crowd play beta for Crayta is going live today. Crayta is officially coming to PC via the Epic Games Store, and you guys are teasing the first ever Battle Pass. Did I miss anything?
I think you pretty much got it all there. There's a lot of information. I'm trying to keep up with it all myself, but I think you got it.
Yeah, so let's dive into some of this. So first off, Crayta is coming to the Epic Games Store on March 10th, potentially bringing a massive player base to Crayta. For someone who doesn't know what the game is or is watching this for the first time, can you explain what Crayta is?
Yeah, sure. So we kind of sum up Crayta as a collaborative and accessible game creation platform, which in itself can sound kind of confusing. So what it means is it's basically a tool to allow anyone to create their own games. And the idea is we want to allow anyone of any experience level to create their own games or modify their friends' games and so on. So it's essentially a playground of creation tools and thousands of different games that you can just go and try out of all different genres, all different kinds.
And I mean, I've been playing this on Stadia since July and been having a killer time. I mean, it's a fantastic game, and I'm excited for all the brand new PC players to check it out as well. So really exciting time for you guys.
Absolutely. And you're one of our top creators as well. So you've certainly been hitting that side quite hard as well.
Yeah, it amazes me because I remember the first time we talked, I told you that, I feel like I have the brain of a monkey sometimes. And I was really concerned that I wouldn't be able to develop a game. So be able to develop, multiple games and for them to be accepted well, I mean, that's just a testament about how easy it is to use your guys' game. So with everything going on with Crayta, you guys have been extremely busy. I mean, has there been any big takeaways since July of, things that may have surprised you guys of how people are actually using your game?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of all sorts of stories of people using the game in unexpected ways. We've had people try and animate giant voxel trees, and we've had someone make like a all 2D game just in UI widgets, for example. Those are some of the things that surprised me on the creation side. But then it's just the fact that we're striving towards making it more and more accessible, but already we're seeing people like yourself, like other people with no coding experience, create these incredible games where we're looking at it and we're going like, how have you done that without coding anything yourself? I mean, obviously we allow creators to share components with other people, what we call packages. So you can use a package from someone else, for example, to make doors work or make, something explode when you step through an area. But people without any coding experience at all have combined so many of those to create such interesting games that it's kind of blown us away, really.
Yeah, I think the thing that I always love about stepping into Crayta, if I take a week off or 2 weeks off and seeing what's new, is I feel like at a point I've mastered kind of like what I can do with my skill base, and then I see something and I'm like, oh my God, how did you pull this off? And so it's almost like I want to peek behind the curtain and I start to play it. And a perfect example of it would be that Tetris game that is on the system, where it's an arcade that pulls back. You can actually play on your guys' mesh of the arcade, but then it changes the camera angle so you actually see the blocks and the cubes fall down. And it's really impressive and kind of a testament of exactly what can be created inside your guys' system.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. And these are all sort of things that, as we said, I think I may have said back in the interview in July, we were expecting to see things that are unexpected, essentially. We know that we can't imagine what people will create, and that's exactly what we've seen. Things that we couldn't have imagined they'd make. So it's awesome to see.
So, off the top of your head, I mean, do you know how many games have been created since July?
Yeah, I'm afraid I can't give you exact figures, but I can tell you it's in the thousands, definitely.
Now, probably the biggest question I've heard from the side of the community that I'm on since the kind of leak of the game coming to PC is, will it have crossplay? So, will Stadia players be able to interact with the players on the Epic Game Store?
Yeah, absolutely. Crossplay and cross progression. So if you are a Stadia player, you've already, I don't know, bought Deluxe Edition or unlocked so much cosmetics on your account, and then you'd prefer to play on PC or you'd prefer to play on a bit of both, you progress the account across both. So the account is just one account that's linked up between both platforms.
So on Stadia, Crayta has exclusive features like state share, and now you're also going to have crowd play. Will PC players, I mean, how are they going to be able to share their games with their communities, or is that going to be a feature exclusive to Stadia?
Yeah, so these Stadia enhanced features, things like the State Share Beta or the crowd play features, for example, those obviously have to remain on Stadia. That's one of the key points of being on Stadia, is that you can use features like crowd play, and it makes Stadia a really special platform to be on. But we obviously want to ensure that no matter what platform you're playing Crayta on, you have as much ability to share your games with other potential players as possible. So we'll be implementing a version of share codes for PC as well. So at least you can send out a code and say, hey, check out my game. And that'll act in a similar way in which players will be able to join in your game via a code.
Very cool. Now, the other big difference that I would see is, with cloud gaming, you really don't have to, worry about the specs of your PC or anything like that. What are going to be the requirements to run Crayta on a PC? I mean, do people need beefy rigs, or is this something that somebody with a laptop will be able to run?
I'm afraid I don't know the exact technical specs or what our minimum specifications are
Okay.
for the PC version. But I can tell you it's not going to be ridiculous. You're not going to need like the absolute best PC ever. And obviously on the Stadia version, when you play a game on Stadia, they're all kind of running on the same sort of machines. Whereas with the PC version, we're going to be opening up some of the graphic settings so you can like try and tailor it a bit more towards your machine. But it's kind of each platform will suit a different kind of audience. So if you've got a laptop that's not very high powered, but you've got a great internet connection, Stadia is the place for you to play. And on the other hand, if you've got a great PC, but you haven't got such a great internet connection, then PC is the place for you to play.
Now, the other big announcement for today is Crayta free to play. My assumption is that there's also going to be paid versions of Crayta as well. Can you talk about the differences between a free to play Crayta and then what will be included in the paid version of Crayta?
Yeah, so both platforms, both places, Stadia and PC, are going to have free and paid versions. So the free version is going to provide you with essentially a starter pack of content. So it'll give you a few cosmetics and a few actions that you can use. So things like emotes and sprays and so on. And then there will be 2 paid versions, I believe, on each platform. And those paid versions essentially come with more cosmetics, so more kind of packs to go on your character, more outfits, more actions that you can do. And the paid versions, when we come out on PC, will also include the Battle Pass. The first 2 seasons of the Battle Pass will be included. So obviously, as you progress the Battle Pass, you get more content that way as well. And it's important to note that when we launch on PC, those versions, they'll be available for pre-order at a discount as well.
Now, you kind of hinted at it, and I know we can't get into too much detail about it, but with the Battle Pass, I mean, are you able to talk about what we can expect? I mean, is this going to be like a Fortnite Battle Pass where there will be skins and cosmetics and other stuff like that, or is it going to be something where you can unlock additional voxels and meshes, or what can players expect with that?
So we generally have a concept that we don't want to lock any creation assets behind any kind of payment or progression systems or anything. We want to enable players to create with kind of all the same, all a level playing field. So if you can create with a certain type of asset, I should be able to create with that as well. So essentially our battle pass is going to be all player focused, all on the cosmetics. So as you progress each level of the battle pass, it might give you something like a new outfit, or it might give you a new emote, or it might give you a new player icon, for example. It's all going to be cosmetic items.
In 2020, one of the things that I loved that you guys did was there was almost themed updates where I think you guys did sports, circus, aliens, and then you had the winter updates. And with each one of those updates, you also had various new meshes and voxels that people could be using in the game. Is that kind of what you guys are thinking about with the new Battle Pass, or is the Battle Pass going to be on top of that?
Yeah, so they'll be both very closely linked. So we can't reveal to you at the moment what the theme of the first two battle passes are going to be, but they will be along a theme, and that theme will dictate all of the cosmetics that are in it, so they'll all relate to the theme of the battle pass, but it will also tell you what sort of meshes and what different voxel materials and so on are coming to the creation side. So yeah, they will be a couple of months for each battle pass in which all of the cosmetics and the creation and the new creation assets will all be linked to the theme.
Yeah, that's always my favorite time with Crayta because it's from a creation standpoint. And I don't know who's responsible for this, but kudos to them back on your team. You guys always put together those example maps showcasing all of the new features and the sets. And the best one, in my opinion, was the movie set that you guys did, where you built the movie set and people could film on it, and it really shows you the different items that you can use in your game, but it also gives you ideas of like, oh, I never thought about using that for this, and it just kind of gets your brain jumping, and it's a fantastic experience for that side as well.
Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment because I built the movie set one.
Very cool. Now, if you're okay with switching to this, I kind of want to talk about crowd play because this, of course, is a big news for Stadia players. How exactly is this going to work for people streaming Crayta? Is this going to be exclusive to jumping through a couple games, or is this going to be something that you can also use on the creation side as well?
Yeah, so the way this is going to work is essentially anyone, I think at first you have to have been put on an allow list by Google to be able to use crowdplay when you're streaming. But I think the hope is to open that up in the future to everybody. But essentially, when you're playing the game, you open the menu on the side, the Stadia menu, and you can start streaming straight out to YouTube. And you can then choose to enable crowdplay on that stream. Now, in Crayta, you can enable that from anywhere. And essentially what it does is when someone joins in your game via crowdplay, it's like they're joining your group. So they'll actually become part of your Crayta group, which means they'll join in the current game you're in. If you're in an editor, they'll be able to join the current editor you're in as well. And because they're a part of your group, if you go between games, for example, so if you go from Prop Hunt to Tumbleweed Ridge, they will be brought with you as part of the group as well.
Is there going to be a way to create like a private lobby, if you will, or like let's say if we're playing Prop Hunt that has a maximum player, and then your crowd play side, you have 4 people joining in from YouTube. Does the system allow you to create a private lobby so you're all together, or does it just kind of pick and choose?
I think you can think of it working in a very similar way to our State Share Beta feature in terms of people joining in with you. So you won't be able to create like a private lobby to be in and just have the people watching the stream joining you. It'll basically put you into whatever game is currently active of Prop Hunt, and as you add people, it'll add them in up to the maximum player limit, and then if they join, well, then at that point they'll be joining the crowdplay queue rather than actually joining into the game. And obviously once people have left your current crowdplay session, left your group, more people will be able to join in from the queue.
So with crowd play, I mean, I know Outcasters has it where you can have like 5 people join in through the YouTube chat. Is there going to be a min-max when it comes to Crayta, or is that up to the person creating the game?
Yeah, so that is essentially, like with the rest of Crayta, that is essentially up to whichever game it is you happen to be playing. So if you're playing Prop Hunt, it might be 12 people. If you're playing something like Crayta Cooking, it might be 4. But it's important to note that on the creation side, creation sessions can still go up to 20 people as well. So it's essentially however many people are allowed in that game, that many people can join your group.
For me, one of the coolest things that I think Crayta has going for it, especially on the creator side, is the prize fund, which essentially anyone who creates a game, if it's the most popular or if it's the best new game, you guys actually reward them financially for creating that game. Is this going to be something that's going to be continued, and are PC players able to qualify for this, or what are we looking at for the future for Prize Fund?
Yeah, that's definitely planned to be continued for the foreseeable future. It's been really successful so far. A lot of creators have won money from it, including yourself. And our top creator, whose username is Tiger Titan, has actually won, I think it's $31,000 from it so far, from a couple of their games. I think the most commonly played one is called City Builder Tycoon, which is worth checking out if you haven't played it. So yeah, so it's really successful, and PC players will obviously be eligible for that, as well as Stadia players once we've launched.
So I guess my final question, Adam, and I don't even know if you're going to be able to answer it, but I'm hoping you're going to let me be the one break the story. Crayta has a hub where everybody can meet up and play new games, and something that's been just in the back of my brain since the very beginning, first day I played this game. If you go under the hub, there's 2 doors. Any chance you can explain what's behind those doors?
They're secret doors. I'm not going to let your show have that secret.
It was worth a shot. I mean,
worth a shot, but no, they will remain a closely guarded secret.
Now let me ask you this. I'll rephrase it. Do you plan on ever revealing what's behind those doors?
Yeah, there is a secret in place there, and we will get to that stage at some point. But I can't really tell you any more than that, because then they wouldn't be secret doors.
I imagine it's like in school where the teachers have their teacher lounge, and you always assume that like there's pool tables and like a bar. That's probably what's going on back there, right?
Yeah, it's just a bunch of us devs just sitting in there. No, what I can tell you about the hubs though is there's some exciting changes coming to those. So obviously they've been updating with each new theme that's been coming out, and now that the themes are more sort of set in stone with the battle passes as well, the hubs are going to bring quite a lot more to do as well, and they're going to be closely linked to the battle pass.
Adam, thank you again for coming on the show today, and I wish you and the entire team at Crayta the best of luck for the future of this game. And don't forget, Crayta will be coming to the Epic Games Store on March 10th, and starting today, February 10th, Crayta is now free to play on Google Stadia with the brand new Crowdplay Beta. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. My name is Bryant, and this has been the Nerf Report. Hey, thanks again for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, which who wouldn't, hit the subscribe button right there. And while you're down there, hit the like button. Maybe even consider becoming a Nerf Report best friend, just like the people listed down below did. In fact, don't you want to see your name there? I know I do.